Once upon a time, a legend was whispered among shadows. It was a legend of dreams. It was a legend of dark. This is the legend of Deltarune. Deltarune is one of the greatest RPG games of all time, which is not surprising because it was made by the same guy who made Undertale, Toby Fox. That's right, after Undertale, Toby Fox decided to come back to make another game that would top Undertale in every which way, and by golly does it. Although Undertale's story, characters, and gameplay was great, all of that was fleshed out into Deltarune, which essentially is Undertale, but if Toby Fox had a little bit more experience and confidence with it. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. Toby Fox's greatest game yet. First things first, Undertale was famous for its great writing of its characters that never felt like just video game characters to most. And so with having such incredible pressure to up himself from the last game, Toby Fox didn't just erase everything and start from the beginning. He brought back most of Undertale's characters into Deltarune. Asgore, Toriel, Undyne, Alphys, as well as Sans are still in this game. Sans now owns Grillby's, Alphys is a school teacher, and Undyne is a police officer. But we don't play as Frisk anymore. In Deltarune, we play as Chalk Eater, Twink, and the Lone Wolf Tumblr MC. And in addition, we also have entirely new characters that we've never seen before, like Sans on crack, whatever the hell this checkers piece is, and the King, who is just Asgore, but if Asgore was fully evil, and a few more that I can't say because I don't want to spoil anyone who hasn't played this 6-year-old game. But all in all, Deltarune's characters and their writing is just as good, if not better, than the writing of Undertale. All the MCs are masterfully written. Lancer is incredibly funny and witty and bounces off of Susie incredibly well. Susie has an amazing character arc throughout the entire game, from going to a harsh bully to a sort of sympathetic good guy near the end. And Rolsey is just...
When I met you in the summer, to my heartbeat sound, we fell in love.
But our main character, who we play as throughout the entire game, Chris, is much more complex and near the end seemingly rejects the player to try and form his own identity. So, with the characters and writing of Deltarune being just as good, if not better, than Undertale, let's move on to Deltarune's gameplay. Deltarune's gameplay is much more like any traditional RPG, but it still does take a few things from Undertale. I mean, it brings over the heart system for dodging attacks that Undertale had, and it also reintroduces the act and mercy options that Undertale had. In addition to those, Toby Fox also adds new systems to the game, and revamps old ones, such as the attack system, which now has specific moves for you to do, instead of just hoping that you hit the center of an eye for extra damage points. And it also introduces a magic system, which is pretty cool because
Shadow Wizard Money Gang, we love casting spells.
But Deltarune has a key difference that Undertale doesn't have. In Undertale, the whole point of the game was to make choices and to see how they affected the game. You could have spared all the monsters and have gone down the completely pacifist ending. You could have become friends with all the characters and gotten the best possible ending. Or you could have killed everyone and seen the underground gone to ruins. But in Deltarune, it doesn't matter how many enemies you kill or spare, the ending always stays the same. Chris will always reject the player and rip their heart out at the end of the story. There's no secret endings or dialogue or text that you get for killing every single monster or sparing every single monster. Cause in Deltarune, your choices don't matter. You can't affect the ending. You can't change the way that these characters behave. There's no hidden secrets to unlock. You can kill or spare all the monsters, but it makes no difference in the way that these characters treat you. Unlike in Undertale, there's no genocide route with an incredibly hard boss battle at the end, or a total pacifist route that makes you feel like you're the most philanthropic Mr. Beast wannabe this side of the underground, because your choices don't matter. The reason I suspect that Toby Fox decided to add this into the game is because Toby Fox was fed up. He couldn't make Undertale 2 and make people feel the same way and love a whole new set of characters like he did with Undertale. So instead of having a story that was entirely reliant on the player, Toby Fox just decided to make the player's choices not matter. So that way you can't get disappointed, because like Toby said in the beginning, your choices don't matter. You can't affect this game. This is Toby's story, and you have to play through it and watch it unfold. And there is nothing you can do to change that. So with the core gameplay and sentiment behind Deltarune covered, I think it's time that we move on to Deltarune's story. So Deltarune's story is actually pretty simple. Essentially, it follows Chris, Sue. Shut up, nerd. So Deltarune's story, simplified, essentially follows Tumblr MC, Chalk Eater, and Twink going on an adventure throughout a place called the Dark World to stop the evil king from doing something evil. Alongside, they meet Sans on crack. Susie decides to pull a Vegeta and become a good guy. And at the end of the game, it's revealed that this whole adventure that you just went on is just a sort of D&D campaign, with Chris taking on the role of DM. And at the end of the base game, you have a little bit of time to roam around the normal world instead of the Dark World, and you get to see Sans, baby! He's so cool, and also he's aware that this is a sequel, and he knows of the player.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
And at the actual end of the game, our Tumblr MC becomes a badass, rips out his own heart, throws it in a bird cage, and does a fourth wall break into the camera. And that's just about it. So with everything that we've covered today, I think it's time we wrap this video up and move on to the conclusion. So, in conclusion, Deltarune is an absolutely fantastic game. It has amazing gameplay, great writing, its themes are fantastic. Fun fact, Deltarune was the first ever Toby Fox game that I ever played. I was a fan of Undertale ever since I was a youngin', but I could never really buy or play Undertale because, number one, I didn't own a PC, and also I was broke. So when Toby Fox made Deltarune, I was so happy to play a Toby Fox game at all that as soon as it came out, I downloaded it on my Switch and played it. And I have some of my fondest memories from my first playthrough of Deltarune. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Bye! Oh, thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. That's really cool. If you made it to the end of the video, comment something like, I don't know, Pierre Rune or something. I think my editing on this one really improved, and I feel like it's one of my better videos of the past year. Of course, I made an Undertale video a long time ago, and I would always like to revisit it, try to make it better, but who knows, maybe that's for the future. As always, you can hit subscribe on the left, watch another video by me on the right, like and comment something for the engagement, and yeah, that's all. See you next time. Bye bye.